everybody. Welcome to the Watch Pals. My name's Chris. This week we watched the 1995 American crime film Heat that I never saw before. Before we get into that, I'm going to welcome the panel of pals. First, I want to welcome Jordan. Jordan, thank you for being here.
Yes.
Brian's next. Thank you for being here, Brian.
Enhance.
And Jeff. Jeff, thank you for being here.
Hey, get fisted, Jackie Chan. Just cut it from the last episode.
Well, this week, Jordan chose to watch Heat, which is a 1995 film directed and written by Michael Mann, who I have no idea who that is. So
He's the man.
Really?
That's all you need to know.
No idea.
So he did like Last of the Mohicans,
Never saw it.
Insider, Ali, Collateral.
Nope.
Manhunter.
No.
Nope.
All right. Oh yeah,
Sorry.
Manhunter. Yeah.
I apologize. I'm
Miami Vice remake. Come on.
No.
Oh yeah, right.
I know.
Classic.
Yeah,
Not
the
me.
classic piece of shit.
So before we get into this, Jordan, why did you pick Heat?
So I'm not gonna lie, I was a little hesitant to pick this one. I think I talked about this with Jeff privately when I was at his house last time. I love this movie. But I was hesitant to do it because like we've been doing more kind of like sillier kind of stuff, and like this is a very serious movie, so I was worried this wouldn't translate well, so we'll see how this goes. But I love this movie. I love it. One of my favorite movies of all time.
See, but I think you should never hesitate. That's what, I'm going to call you out, Jordan, because
Okay, B-Dog.
this is a great movie, and you follow your instincts.
You be you.
Brian, I'm going to call on you. Brian, there's a scene.
Boy.
Yeah, there's a certain line given that I'm going to call upon you to deliver it.
Oh,
I know exactly. I already know
I
exactly
know.
what it is.
I
If you
know.
need any lines from this movie, I'll do them. Just tell me.
I know you know what it is right off the bat.
When I watched this and heard it, I was like, oh, yeah, there it is, the Brian line.
So Brian, you've seen this movie before, right?
Yes.
Okay. And what is it? How long has it been since you've seen it?
I haven't seen this probably since like early 2000. I think it came out on DVD or something, and I got it at that point. But since they've like touched it up on Blu-ray and like 4K and all that stuff, I haven't watched a new copy of that since then. So it's a great movie though.
And Jeff, you've seen this before too, then?
I have seen it. It's been quite some time. I actually saw it in theaters, so I was probably like 11 years old.
Oh.
And
Wow.
no, I'm joking. It's called back from last episode. No, it was I saw this when my friends Mike and Draws, we went on a little kick of watching like all the Al Pacino, Robert De Niro films for a while there.
Just your friends?
Wow, this is before like you guys knew them.
Wowza.
Wow.
Oh, they're
Exclusive
you know
friends,
whatever.
Old gatekeeping Jeff.
Yeah, they're my
over here.
friends. Fuck you guys. They don't fucking know you. Anyway, this was I would watch a lot of movies with those guys, which is why Chris wasn't around because he hated watching movies when we were young.
Wait a minute, hold on a second, Chris. What? Go back a second. Why did that upset you watching films? Cinema.
I didn't. I just wasn't there.
He just wasn't mature.
He didn't invite me.
He wasn't mature enough.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for that type of.
He was busy
You know.
cutting his hair.
No, I went out on dates with girls back then. I don't know what you guys were doing.
Wow.
What'd you guys do on the dates?
There it is.
Oh,
There it is.
wow.
There it is.
What'd you do on the dates, Chris?
Mostly hand stuff, but
Oh, okay.
I wonder what your wife's gonna think about this one.
it should be fun.
Sharing out all the stuff every week. Oh
Should be-
man.
I have never seen this movie, so
Okay.
I was I didn't. It is quite star-studded, from what I understand.
It's very star-studded. I
Yes.
forgot how
Yeah, holy
star-studded.
Yes.
Dude, State Farm's in it. I was like,
Dude, so that it's all state, by the way.
oh, whatever. Some insurance company. Who cares?
Yeah. So for me, like growing up, I knew who Al Pacino, Robert De Niro were because they're the top billed people in this movie. But for me, it was Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
Because Val Kilmer, early that year, starred in Batman Forever, which I was obsessed with that movie because of Jim Carrey. So for me, it was like Val Kilmer, but like this is billed as being like this huge thing because this is the first time that Robert De Niro and Al Pacino were in a scene together. Like they were both in Godfather
Right.
Part 2.
But never on the same scene together.
This is the first time. So this was like highly hyped because of that.
Takes a while to get to that scene too in the movie. By the
It
way,
does. It definitely does. Yes.
I was gonna say, and they usually get like similar-ish roles, right? So it was like a match made in heaven.
I'm going to bring
much.
this up because this is a good point of the conversation. I had a hard time telling those two apart in the scenes. I wasn't sure who was on the screen.
Chris,
Wow,
why is that?
I don't know.
All Italians don't look alike.
I thought they looked very alike.
Oh,
And they both have the same,
I really want to comment on what I think is.
They're both white guys?
Chris needs to get his eyeballs checked.
Chris just sees like two cannolis sitting there.
Two old white guys. I couldn't tell the difference.
All right, I'm gonna pick
That's good,
the Irishman for my next movie.
Oh, good.
Oh, geez, that's a long one there too.
No, I'm not picking that.
Don't know what it is.
Doesn't even know what it is.
Nope. Is that the one with the
Good thing you're it's a good thing we're doing a movie podcast.
Is that the one with like the guys that come out of the ceiling and shoot people?
No, what?
It was really
are
big
you
with
talking
college
about?
kids.
Yeah.
Did you have a dream last night?
The Saints,
Yep,
the
that's-
something
What?
Saints, Boondock Saints.
The Boondock
No, they're-
Saints?
What do you mean they come out?
I thought
Oh,
you were
you're
talking
talking about the scene where they
They're
come out of
Irish,
the
aren't
vent.
they?
Yeah.
Oh my
they are.
God.
Right. No, he's right. I mean, technically, he's right.
I thought you were talking about The Saint, which had Val Kilmer in it. It was a movie.
I don't know what that is.
Score point for Chris.
I want to say this right at the top. This is not news. Val Kilmer is a great actor.
Mad Mardigan strikes again.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
and
fantastic.
He's amazing.
He's the
Top
his
Gun.
hair in this movie is
I
fantastic.
can't reiterate. I know I taught this before. I can't say this enough. He did it. There's a biography documentary about him where his son does the narration. His son sounds exactly like him. It's about his whole life.
It was on
Movie,
Amazon, right?
his whole movie life. Yeah, it's amazing. It's so good. If you like Val Kilmer or like movies in general, watch it because he's done some iconic movies like Tombstone. I love Tombstone.
Yep.
I'll be your
It's
husband.
so
Yeah.
good, so good.
I've seen that and I do like it.
Okay, so yeah, like watch this biopic. I think it's called They Call Me Val or I'm Called Val or something like that. It's so good, so good.
I want to say that the movie that I know Robert De Niro from is what that fuck movie, Meet the.
Meet the fuckers.
That was specifically.
Whoa.
That's the other stuff I've seen him in.
What if it was actually called that? Meet the fuckers.
Chris knows
Is that what
Robert
it's
De
called?
Niro from
Fokker,
such films
Fokker.
as Showtime with Eddie Murphy.
That's the only other movie I've seen him in. I think that whole series.
Oh my goodness!
I think I only seen the first one. Or no, I seen Meet the Fockers.
The
That's the only one
Intern.
I saw. Was there other ones? That was the third one, right?
well, there's
Well, it was
Meet the Parents,
I didn't
Meet
see
the
that one.
Fockers.
What? You
Okay.
saw
Little
Meet the Parents is the first
Little
one.
Fockers. Little Fockers.
Meet the Parents is the first one.
Oh my
Meet the
god.
I
Parents
never
is
saw
the
the
very
first one.
first
I saw the
movie.
second one.
Well, you're in for a treat.
Oh my god, dude!
Meet the
Jesus
parents,
Christ!
you little fuckers.
I remember I watched Meet the Fuckers.
Yeah, you want to meet my fucking parents?
Whoa. What's the name of this movie?
Oh my!
Hey, you want to meet my
dude.
fucking kids?
Hey, use. Hey, use.
Hey, here's my fucking son. Starring Robert De Niro.
Al Pacino. Don't know what else he's been in.
What?
What?
Scarface?
Dude.
What?
Never saw it.
He's
Oh
so
my
I've never seen
God.
Scarface.
This guy's full of
God,
baloney.
dude.
No, I never saw Scarface because everybody had it on their like in college. They always had a Scarface. Every kid that wanted to be a gangster had it.
I
I've never
understand.
seen it.
I understand that because you're like everyone likes this. I don't like it. But what about Devil's
No.
Advocate?
I've never seen it because like everybody was
Devil's
like always
Advocate.
about it. They never like they were watching it all the time. I live with Liam who loved Scarface and all those movies, but he never watched them. So I was gonna be like, "Hey, you want to watch the movie you've seen 1,000 times?"
Dude, I forgot about Devil's Advocate. That's a great film.
It's so good, so good.
Yeah.
What's that about?
The devil.
Anytime Al Pacino smiles, it freaks me out because of Devil's Advocate.
Yeah, he plays Satan in that film. Chris, he plays the devil in that film.
Before we get into the whole thing, I will say, like, Al Pacino is he plays his own type of role. Like,
Yeah, that's
To a
for
T.
sure.
There's so many things from popular culture that now I understand are from this movie.
all the
Oh my
references.
god, dude! Yeah, so
Yes.
so the GTA 3, 4, and
Yes.
5
Yeah.
are taken heavily
5
influenced from this.
especially.
Any game where you're doing heists is this movie.
Heist,
basically.
yes. And Christopher Nolan has been known to take, from what I understand, has taken. He's been influenced by this movie. which is kind of a big thing because Christopher Nolan's like one of the biggest directors out there right now. So,
well, I was just saying, as far as action, I don't know about like, you know.
I think Inception was a big part of had a pretty big role in this. So I'm gonna do a synopsis because like we're assuming people have watched this movie, but just in case they don't, I'm gonna do a quick synopsis. So Heat is a crime thriller that revolves around the intense rivalry between Neil McCauley, played by Robert De Niro. He's a meticulous professional thief, and Vincent Hanna, played by Al Pacino, an obsessive LAPD detective. As Neil's crew plans a massive bank heist, Hanna's team closes in, leading to a tense game of cat and mouse. All the while, both men grapple with personal sacrifices driven by their relentless commitment to their work. So, like we're assuming people are watching the movie just in case they don't. Like, that's a synopsis right there. In case they haven't.
Also, if you haven't seen it, stop this right now and go watch it. We don't want to spoil it.
Oh yeah, go watch the movie. Yeah.
It's too good of a film to be spoiled like this. Just go watch it and then come back.
Listen to the first like 10 minutes of this and then go watch it.
Right. Well, yeah. Watch up until
Stop
this
right now.
Yeah.
All right, Jordan, you want to get to the recap?
I do. Yes, this movie is considered a cult classic. All right. So it kicks off with Robert De Niro and Val Kilmer's characters. You don't know their names yet, but De Niro's character's name is Neil. Kilmer is Chris. They're each preparing for something. De Niro enters the hospital. He just takes off in an ambulance. He just takes the ambulance. Kilmer purchases something from a large construction depot. You don't find out what it is till later. You then cut to Al Pacino. His name is Vincent. He's in bed with Diane Verona's character, Justine. They're making whoopee.
Very realistic whoopee, if I should say so.
Yeah, they're making whoopee. He goes to shower to wash the sin off of him because they're, it's sinful to do that.
Get that stank off you.
Yeah. Then he leaves, turning down coffee from Justine because he's late meeting someone. At this point, we're introduced to Natalie Portman's character, Lauren, who I love Natalie Portman. She's a great actress, but she is annoying in this movie.
This film, yeah.
She's barely in it.
But like,
that's what he's saying. The time that
when she's on screen, she's annoying.
She's so much in this movie, and it's not knocking Natalie Portman. It's not knocking Natalie Portman. She's great, but like, I think her character just, she's too much.
I think they established she has some type of like anxiety disorder, some type of issues going on because of the way her mom consoles her.
Prime Natalie Portman child acting. It was Leon the Professional.
Yeah.
Oh my dude, it's so good, man.
So I just wanted to get that. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
I've never seen that one, man.
Really?
Yeah.
I expect Chris not to see that movie, but not you, Jeff.
So I'll make the pick next time.
It just never happened. You don't have to pick it for me to watch it. I could just watch it.
I'll pick my nose for you, okay?
So Lauren is freaking out because she can't find her red berets.
Berets.
She's like, I want like little red beret, or like the Prince song. She's freaking out because she can't find it because she wants to wear these berets because she's meeting her father. So we know at this point, we can deduce that Al Pacino is not her actual father.
Right.
He sleeps with this woman who ends up being his wife, his third wife, actually. We'll go on that later. But he leaves because he's like, has to go meet somebody. So we deduce that like Pacino's not her father. And that first and foremost, work comes first for him.
He also calls her sweetheart, though, when she comes upstairs. So you think like, oh, maybe you first think maybe she was her father, but they have a good relationship.
Right. Yes.
Doesn't she go into a panic about being ready for dad at that point?
That's what I was talking about.
She can't find her. Yeah, she can't find her red berets. And mom's like, oh, we'll find it together. She's like, you have the blue ones. She's like, I don't want to wear the blue ones. And this is like, she's too much. Too much.
Yeah.
Too much. Yeah. She's like, we'll find them together. So you can deduce that like Pacino's character, Vincent, it's not her dad. He's not her dad. And that something job related. He's like, I'm out of here. Like, because his wife's like, hey, stay. I'll make you coffee. He's like, I have to go meet somebody. You don't really do it. You don't know what he does as a job just yet. But like, first and foremost, his job is like his main priority. All right. So we go to the next scene, which shows Neil and Chris, which is Robert De Niro and Val Kilmer, as well as others who are part of a tight-knit crew. They're about to do something big, which is they're about to rob an armored truck. But along with them is a new fellow in their group named Waingro. This dude is a total piece of
He is.
He's a piece of
mother.
He's a turd, but he also rules. He also rules because he's such a turd, I think.
No, he doesn't rule at all.
Yeah, he doesn't rule at all, man.
He ruins everything.
He's a nasty villain.
Nasty
He's
boy.
there. Yeah, and that's the thing, Brian. You're right. He's there for a reason,
Right.
plot reason. It's clear that Neil and his crew are very thorough and well prepared. They're well armed, meticulous. They're careful covering their identities. They use hockey masks. They don't use their actual names. They're careful what they steal from this truck, because again, they're robbing a truck. We're assuming everyone's watched this movie. They don't take the actual cash from the truck. They steal bonds. They know the response of police, and able to do so without killing. Originally, that's the plan.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, they're pros. They're pros, except for Dip Waingro, who kills one of the guards. And at one point, when Waingro's like sizing up the guard, Tom Sizemore character's like, "You see the coming out of his ears?
Yeah.
He can't hear you because he's bleeding from the ears."
Right.
Because they do like a flashbang or like a concussion grenade or something
The
like
thing
that.
they blow the door open with, like the whatever it is.
He's like,
plastic
you see, he's like, you come over his ears. He can't hear you.
It blew
Slick.
out all the
He calls him-
guards' eardrums. Yeah.
Yeah, he calls him Slick. And then things just pop off because the Waingro kills the guard, and then one of the other guards retaliates. So then they all have to like just kill all these guards. They can't leave any witnesses at this point. But the idea was like they're so professional that like they didn't need to kill anybody, but they brought on this new guy who's a piece of shit, who's just like trigger happy and kind of like throws the whole plan awry.
Yeah.
He was a hired gun. They didn't expect that from. Yeah.
And he
Right,
wants
yes,
to
yeah.
kill. He wants to kill people. It becomes clear,
Yes.
like
Right.
later.
He's a killer.
Can I point out one thing that I noticed throughout the entire movie is that the guns are insanely loud over everything
yeah.
else.
I actually want to point out, and I don't know if Jordan, you were going to point out something about the guns in this film.
So sound in this movie, I don't know if this is where we're going with Brian, but like sound, especially in the final act, like the final showdown, sound is a very, very big part of this movie.
I was going to say it is a big part, but what I was going to bring up was it's a really cool part of the sound design. A lot of the firefights in this movie were recorded live on like LA streets. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, a lot of the reverb you hear in the sound design and stuff that actually is from what I understand was captured like live because they were firing these blanks like live on the set. So yeah, it is very explosive, but it's just something that they captured in this film so well in like the action scenes. Yeah.
I think they're like trying to touch on like, cause like LA is a very big, like the city of Los Angeles is like almost a second, like another character in this movie,
Yeah.
which is another thing in another Michael Mann's movies, which is Collateral. Like it plays a role. So I think that might've been part of it. Cause after everything that happened in LA, that might've been, I don't know. The gun thing might've been a thing.
He also, when he shows LA in a lot of his movies, uses a very like blue tone or like,
Yes.
you can see that in like the cinematography.
Yes, so that's exactly the case. We'll get to this a little bit later when they show Neil's apartment. It's all very blue.
Yeah.
So after this, they steal these bonds. They kill the guards because they have to, because Waingro kind of pops off. Neil meets with Jon Voight's character, Nate, who's a fence. Not like an actual like, fence in the backyard, but like someone who like
He's really breaking out as an actor.
Yeah.
As a fence,
Everyone
first
listening,
fence actor.
take a breath.
he's
It's not the fence in the backyard.
he's not the fence from
Menace the Menace.
from Home Improvement.
He's not the fence from the Sandlot, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a dog back there.
But I'm not gonna lie, I cannot stand the way Jon Voight's character looks in this movie.
I just can't stand him in general.
Well, no,
Well,
I mean,
that's
the
that's
worst.
personal preference, but
even when I saw this in 1995,
yeah.
I was still a kid. I hated the way he looked. He had the bow tie, that stupid Fu Manchu mustache. I think he looked so silly to me, and I hated
The
it.
reason that he looks like that, and I know that's very like, it's a very bold choice for that character for him to look that way, right? That was based on the actual fence that they based some of the stories on. I can't remember the producers. Not Lawrence Bender. It's another producer. But this guy was in Reservoir Dogs and looks exactly like Jon Voight. So go to Reservoir Dogs. Look, I forget what color this character was in the crime group, but same guy, same actor. He was a producer on this film. he looks exactly like Jon Voight's character because they based his look on this producer's look. That's why he looks that way.
Brian, I'm glad you brought that up because apparently this movie is based off of another thing Michael Mann tried to do.
Yeah.
I think in the 90s or 80s, he tried to make a show, which ended up being a TV movie, which is based on an actual thing that happened in the 60s in Chicago.
Right. It was a real crime that happened between this cat and mouse, between this criminal, this master criminal.
Al Pacino's character Neil is actually, his actual name in the movie is based off, his name is taken from an actual crime guy in Chicago. And
I have it right here.
Yeah, Al Pacino's character is based off of a detective who's like the cat and mouse thing. It was actually like, so there's certain scenes in this movie I'll point on when it happens. They're actually based off of real events that happened. So go ahead,
Right.
Jeff.
It says it was, it is in fact inspired by the real life career criminal Neil McCauley.
The Niro's name in the in the movie, yeah.
And the detective tracking him, Chuck Adamson.
Who's Al Pacino's character in the movie.
Yeah.
And Jon Voight's character is based on criminal turned author Edward Bunker, who was consultant to Michael Mann on this film, who was also in Reservoir Dogs.
Oh, all right. Interesting. Okay.
Didn't see it.
Chris is throwing his hands up. You wish you could see it, ladies and gentlemen.
It's like,
Chris
I
is shrugging.
have no idea what's going on.
Chris is eating Oreos over there and smiling.
Yeah,
All right.
chocolate Oreos.
Okay. So Neil meets with Nate. He's like, I have these bonds. Nate says these bonds belong to a banker, Van Zant, who also happens to be a money launderer. And that rather than selling the bonds on the street for less money, Neil should sell them back to Van Zant for a larger profit. Neil agrees to this.
It's pretty sketchy, by the way. I'm
Right,
sorry.
yeah. Like by doing that, you're saying you're admitting guilt, right?
You're trying to sell back the stolen goods to the guy you stole it from. That's pretty.
Yeah, you're
rough.
saying, hey, I stole this from me, but he goes along with it for some reason, which is kind of
right.
Kind of
With
weird.
insurance money, he gets 60%.
It's a big cut.
Yeah.
Big cut.
Yeah.
Then we cut to Vincent arrived at the scene of the crime. We found out he's actually a lieutenant detective because you don't really know this before that. He's a lieutenant detective. He deduces just how professional the attackers were. So they do this whole thing like they knew where the freeway exits were. They knew that they were out of shot of the cameras. They torched the ambulance. You know, like he's putting together pieces. Him and his crew putting together pieces that like how professional these guys are. By the way, one of his I can never look at this actor the same way. One of his people on his team is Buffalo Bill from fucking
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that actor that plays Buffalo Bill, who's an amazing actor.
He's
I wish I
really
remembered his
good.
name. He always plays a cop or a detective or some kind of government official. Like I've seen him
Does
in
he?
other roles. Yeah, he's kind of been, I don't know if he's been typecast or whatever, but it just seems he's fallen into that kind of role with that mustache of his.
Do you think that was a reaction of him trying to get out of like the Buffalo Bill character?
No, I think it was just that he got cast into like a detective role and it just like came natural to him.
Okay. All right.
Or maybe the people just saw him in that detective role and said, I want to keep casting in that. So,
Yeah. All right. So Neil and his crew, they're with Waingro at this diner. And like, it's very clear they're unhappy about how Waingro handled the whole
it's
situation.
real tense.
Yeah. They're clearly pissed at him for like being so cavalier.
Yeah.
Because he just ruined, like, they're professional. They don't, like, they're like, we're not going to kill. But this guy's too trigger happy.
Because you kill someone, it's going to get more heat on you.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
extra heat. He got the heat.
There it is. There it is. I was going to bring that up later because they bring up the heat, why it's called heat later on. So as they leave the diner, they're like, we're going to kill this dude. And then you find out Danny Trejo's like kind of like their driver. He pulls up.
Yeah.
They kind of like try and kill him, but like a cop car pulls up. They kind of get distracted, like, we can't kill him right now because the cops are, there's a police cruiser. They're not looking for them, but like there's a police cruiser. So they kind of get distracted by it. In the meantime, Waingro kind of quietly escapes and they lose him. So then we cut to Neil arriving home to his beach house. You kind of get a glimpse of how like he lives. Like we'll find out later on, like his philosophy on everything is like, don't have attachments.
It's always about the job.
Right.
Yes.
The career.
Yeah. Then we also cut to Chris, Val Kilmer's character. He arrives home to his wife, Charlene, played by Ashley Judd. They get into an argument over his gambling problems. So we find out his gambling problems. He keeps blowing all his money, which is kind of foreshadowing for later on because they want to do one more heist because he needs money to take care of his family. She threatens to leave, taking their kid, Dominic, with them. He gets kind of goes a little bit crazy and takes off in his Camaro. Then Vincent, so there's kind of like a jumping around a little bit right here. Vincent gets a phone call saying the demolitions used in the heist were untraceable because he's kind of hoping they're exotic. I think was his words for that. It's like because they blew up the outside of the truck to get in. He finds out they're untraceable. He then goes home and arrives with his wife Justine about work because she's like, "You never tell me what's going on." They kind of argue over her daughter. The daughter, her dad never showed up. They kind of go argue over that.
There's tension there from the daughter.
Yes, yeah. So like, I think it's interesting because like they're setting the tone of like they're very similar men. They're on opposite sides of the law, but like they're setting this tone of like they're similar because of their dedication, their obsession.
Right. They're focused on what they're good at in life.
Yes.
Well, what they feel they're good at in their career. It's what they could do best.
Exactly. Yeah, and it hurts their personal life. So whereas
relationships. That's right.
So whereas Neil, he has none, and it reflects that. They'll go into it more later on. Like he has nothing in his house. Where Vincent, he's trying to have a life. He's on his. We find out later on he's in a third marriage. It's affecting his life with not only his own personal life, but like his wife, his third wife, and her daughter. Is affecting like that whole thing is like being scrutinized because of his obsession with his job.
So real quick, let's pause for a second because I'm curious. I see a face with no emotion on it in the top right corner of my screen. Chris, I want to see. I want to hear what you're thinking at this point of the movie. Now that you're a little chunk into it, like, what are your thoughts? Are you like
bored as shit?
Yeah, I
really?
figured.
No, I think
because there's actually it's funny you brought that up, Jeff, because there's a point later on in the movie where I'm asked the exact same question.
Mm-hmm. I think it's because they're jumping around so much, and I'm just like losing like this is where I'm losing contact of like who's what. Like Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, this guy going here. They're like you're saying, you're comparing how they are trying to set them up as kind of the same type of life person,
establishing their characters, their arcs,
opposite sides of the same coin. I think is
yeah, and so like they do a lot of setting all that up, but like I keep on since they're jumping around all these different people so much, I'm losing track of who's doing what.
They do that. I mean, yeah,
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it is, again, that's why this is such a long movie, is because they're trying to establish, like, this guy has this going on in his life, this guy has this going on in his life, and this is how they compare. And this is what's going on with this guy, and how it compares to, like, they're just living their normal life. It's just these guys are robbing things, and these guys are trying to stop them. And so there's, like, this weird thing going back and forth of, like, you're jumping around from either side so much that I was losing track. And that just causes me to be like, all right, I'm bored.
It's the ADHD.
But...
You know what other film does that? I know you haven't seen it, Chris, but have you guys seen Traffic?
Yes.
So I haven't.
I wouldn't say it's completely similar, but the way it jumps back and forth between two sides and different characters and like the subplots and things like that. Yeah.
But I mean, also we're 27 minutes in, and I'm like, what's going on? Like I'm like waiting for like the action to pop in.
It does.
You're waiting for the action. There was a shootout.
Well, exactly, but I'm like, where's this leading? We're still setting. So we did this big action thing, and when we're setting up characters and like going through their normal run-of-day lives.
So Chris, I'm glad you said that, because like for me, when I saw this, I don't just thought I saw it in 1995, but like for me, this is the first movie of this type that did the characters in a certain way.
Yeah,
that gave them backstory. They gave also not only the main top bill cast, but like Val Kilmer had a story with his wife, with Ashley Judd's character, all the way down to Natalie Portman's character. Like, not to say that character was great, but like, this is the first time for me when I watched this again. I was probably 11. No, I wasn't 11, but like 13, 14, something like that. But I was like, oh, this is the first time
after it came
Yeah,
out.
it wasn't so like cut and dry who the villain is, who like the morality. So I don't know if this was a thing before that.
It's very clear on who the villain is. Just like, is the cop actually a good guy? I was thinking that he was in on it at this point.
I've never seen a movie like this, a crime movie like this before. For me personally, the grayness of like that there it wasn't so cut and dry who was good, who was bad.
Yeah, everyone has flaws pretty much. Like
the professionalism of the criminal is, I think, something that really is established in this film that they don't do a lot of movies.
The discipline of him. Like he's like, hey,
right.
And we'll talk about this later on. He's like, when they're doing a job, and he's like, oh nope, someone's here. We're leaving right now. Let's get out of here. Like,
most criminals they depict in movies, depending on the plot point, is like either in a negative light that they're going to be the villain or
right,
whatever.
Yeah,
he's doing this as a job because it's his chosen career. They're just showing you from his aspect the trouble that he has versus that the policeman is chosen in his life.
Right.
It's just it's butting of heads. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The professionalism too, we'll see later. Obviously, there's like a bank heist scene.
Right. Right.
Like he doesn't wait at all. Like the one guy tries to like not get what key, he just punches him and grabs it. Like he knows where it is already.
Yeah. Right.
You know, he's the kind of guy that will just shoot, and you know he knows what he's doing.
He knows what he needs to get done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
They don't really, they do this for like these guys, like Val Kilmer, Pacino, or De Niro. They really go into their lives, but they don't really go into like the Tom Sizemore character, whatever his
Michael.
name is, the guy that says slick, like
Yeah.
the main
He has a
linchpin in the
family
entire
too,
story.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, but they bring that in even later.
Yeah.
But they're not explaining like what he's going. They never show him at home. They never show him other than that restaurant scene.
I mean, this
That's
is a
true.
long movie. There was
And
a lot of subplots.
He's such a linchpin in everything happening. They concentrate
True.
so much on him. I don't understand why they're not building him up. But
Because Tone Loc calls him out.
Also, you have Al Pacino and Robert De Niro in the film, and that's like the you know,
and he's got to get back to meet the parents.
There's also the fact, I mean, there's director's cuts and everything. I know there's like a director's cut we ended up watching and everything, but you do have like studio pressure to like keep big stars and more of the film and like cuts and things like that, pacing and like test audiences.
That's the thing that like I couldn't imagine trying to. Because you have Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, right? They're in their prime. But you have like, and then I want to say the B stories. It's Val Kilmer, Ashley Judd, like Danny Trejo,
it's
really good.
who's like he just started.
Which, by the way, isn't his name Danny in the film?
And, his last name's Trejo. I think it's like Garrett or something like that.
Okay.
But like Tom Sizemore's in this, like Natalie Portman's in this, like the cat Hank Azaria, Henry Rollins is in this, like
Henry Rollins.
oh my
yeah.
God, like oh my God. All right, so
And you see his black flag tattoo like very clear as day on the back of his head. Like they didn't cover it up.
yeah. Also,
and he wasn't like just he was like a smaller character, but
but like
became an important part later.
Like I think all the characters, I for me personally, I think for the most part, not across the board, for the most part, all characters have a good finish and end. Now there might be some great stuff in the middle there, like especially Natalie Portman's character. I'm like, what the hell? But like,
that was a little crazy.
yeah, but like for the most part, like I'm impressed by how they were able to follow through with a lot of these characters. Because like some of these movies we watched before, like Jupiter's Ascending and like Tiptoes and stuff like that. Tiptoes, like what are they doing with these characters? Like you have these great actors. Like what are they doing with them? I think for the most part, this movie, they know they have these great actors and they follow through for the most part.
I guess you could say like these characters are not there just for filler. Like they actually they all have a purpose in the major story.
All part of the story. And they do a good job with these B line or these B subplots or B plots or whatever you want to call it. That like you said, Brian, take hold in the bigger part of the story.
That being said, Chris, what do you think of the characters?
Who?
The people in the movie.
He can't keep Pacino and De Niro apart. So
do you guys? All right. So where are we at in the movie at this point, Jordan?
All right. Next scene. Neil's at a bookstore. Okay. He's browsing some books. He then goes to a restaurant with a book he just purchased. And we're introduced to Amy Brenneman's character, Edie. So I will say this. What do you all think about her accent? The Southern accent she has.
It's okay.
I didn't even know she has one.
You know, what's that actress's name that shit reminds me of?
She seems so much younger than him.
Oh, she definitely is. Yeah.
Who's the actress from Groundhog Day?
Oh, shoot.
Bill Murray.
She was in the female version of Tombstone. With Drew Barrymore.
She's in Multiplicity as well.
And she is in Groundhog's Day.
But she has a similar accent to what this lady was trying to portray.
Like that lady was she's actually Southern Amy Brennan is not.
Right.
So I was kind of like a little caught off guard by that.
She is my least favorite character, and when she divulged her career choice, my eyes rolled so far on the back of my head. I was like, "Oh God!"
It was graphic design. Is that why?
Yeah. I made some menus in a CD cover.
I mean,
Jeff's like, well, I don't know how to do that stuff.
Yeah, it's a wasted. it's a pointless degree. That's why.
Wow. All right. Okay.
Yeah, you're one of the few that actually made it out of that, man.
You made the cut.
Fair, but like, I don't know, just the way she said it and like what she said she did after that, I was like, oh God.
But that was 90s graphic
It's
design.
90s.
I know.
She also wasn't bragging about it. She's just like, this is what I could get with this.
I know. I hate her for other reasons that I'll talk about later.
Okay, that's fair. That's
I don't want to jump
enough.
ahead too much.
That's
but
fair enough.
It was just the culmination of a bunch of things that made me dislike her.
That's totally understandable, man. So Neil goes to a restaurant. Edie, who's Amy Brenneman's character, goes to this restaurant as well, and it's a real whoopsie doodle.
Is that a thing now?
Yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah.
You made it up, man.
Whoopsie doodle alert.
It's a real meat cute whoopsie doodle.
Oh,
They get
wow.
They get a whoopsie doodle. I'll send that in the mail.
So yeah, she
They get
tries
an
to start conversation with Neil. Of course, he's standoff. He's like, "Why are you talking to me?" Almost to the point he's like, he's a huge dick about it.
Who the fuck are you?
Yeah, he tells her he's a salesman. She says she works at the bookstore. Like he frequents. He's like, "Hey, I recognize you." She says, "By the way, I'm also a graphic designer." I do like, for some reason, this part always stuck out at me. He's like, "Hey, I'm sorry." Like he's kind of trying to apologize. He doesn't actually apologize, but he's like, "Hey," he puts his hand out to shake her hand, and it cuts to his face. He's holding out, and he looks down at his hand, like, "You better fucking shake my hand, or I'm gonna hate you," kind of thing. Like
He does the De Niro nod.
yes, yeah, he has that, like he has that like gravitas, like, "You better shake my hand or something's gonna happen." So she shakes his hand. Anyways, they end up going back to her place. They end up sitting together, and he does the old dine and ditch to her. He's like,
She was thirsting. Is that what you
It's
said?
the Irish goodbye. Yeah.
he
she's thirsty.
does the old Irish goodbye.
He ghosted her.
Yeah,
He does the Italian goodbye. I don't know. Whatever.
They-
He's in the Irish.
yeah.
That's
Italian
fine.
goodbye. He left a hoagie.
Yeah. He left a meatball subs for her. Hey.
Hey, here you go, stupid.
Some Parmesan now.
Hey.
Jesus.
But at least the wrapped glass and some. I don't know.
What?
That was classy. Some paper
Paper
towel,
towel, yeah.
for the condensation.
Yeah,
That was
that's
classy.
classy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that one.
I must have missed that.
So then Neil goes. So Neil meets with this tech guy. He's like in a wheelchair, bearded guy. He's telling him about this another score they can do.
Oh yeah, that's the GTA 5 guy.
Yes.
Who's that actor?
And that guy, he was in Last Action Hero.
Oh, yes, he's
Yep.
in Last Action
He-
Hero as the Ripper.
Yep, he's the Ripper.
And he's also Frankenstein in the Monster Squad.
Oh, yep, he sure is, man. Good call.
Oh, and he was
Tom Noonan.
No clue what you're talking about.
He was Dracula and Bram Stoker's Dracula too.
He was not.
He was not.
Fucking liar.
Idiot. So this guy tells Neil, "Hey, this tech guy, one of you folks, says, yeah, there's a heist worth 12 millions."
Wait, before he does that though, it cuts to Pacino going to the car shop.
Yeah, so
Chop.
I
So that's where my confusion went. He got up and left, and then Pacino walks in and talks to this guy, and I'm like,
yeah.
are they the same
So
person?
he goes to see an informant. I isolate this out. He goes to see this informant. He's like, I got to meet your cousin because apparently his cousin knows somebody. Like, so I was like, it was the whole scene was like, it wasn't stupid. It was just like, it's a 3-hour movie, so I was trying to like cut some stuff out here.
Yeah, but he says the one line that is repeated a lot. She got a great.
No,
Really-
no.
Chris.
No, this is way
Come
no.
on. Wait a minute, hold on.
Cut it out.
No,
Cut it.
that's
What does he say there?
no. He didn't say anything. This is way later. Wait, this is way later. Hank Azaria's character.
Well, what's he say to this guy when he gets all crazy and does his Pacino stuff?
Oh, I know what he says. He says, so what were you doing the other night? What were you doing? You didn't say anything. Give me all you got.
Yeah,
Give me all you got.
That's what it is. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, there it is.
That's what you
And
wanted
then
to
when he's
hear.
walking out, I liked that scene though. I liked to see that interaction. It was really good.
That's good.
It was a nice interrogation scene.
So while Neil's talking to this tech guy in the wheelchair, his fence, Nate, is on the phone with Van Zant talking about selling the bonds back to him. Van Zant agrees, but when he gets off the phone, he tells Henry Rollins' character, he's like, yeah, we're going to kill these guys. Because basically, like, yeah, they stole from me, so we're going to kill them and try to sell it back.
They got some balls, these guys.
Yeah, these guys.
Like, teach them a lesson.
Yeah, he doesn't want people to keep stealing from him either, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
So then Neil arrives back at home, sees Chris passed out on his floor because he got in an argument with Ashley Judd's character, Charlene. We see how empty Neil's place is. So this reflects his philosophy of having no personal attachments. And this is the first time they say the heat in the movie. He's like, so when the heat comes around, you can leave quickly. He's like, don't get too attached to anything. You can't leave. When the heat comes around, you can't leave within 30 seconds or something like that.
No personal
Yeah.
attachments.
So that's why
You gotta drop them.
the heat thing comes.
Also, real quick, he got a nice place.
Dude,
Like, why
it's
is he
super
still,
nice. Beachfront.
What do you need money for? You're fine, clearly. Like, how much do you need?
Yeah, beachfront house. Like, good Lord. So then we have a quick scene with Allstate guy, Dennis Haysbert's Don.
Yeah.
He's having a rough time, this
Yeah.
guy.
He's trying to get a job. He's on parole. Gets hired at a restaurant. For
That's that guy.
Allstate.
Yeah.
Oh, is it hitting you now?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that guy's awesome.
You're in
I
good
thought
hands
it
with
was State
Allstate.
Farm. I thought
He's
it was
also
State Farm.
isn't he the chief in Splinter Cell? For sure.
Yeah, I think he is.
Yeah.
So Neil sees Charlene is having an affair with Hank Azaria's character, Alan. Neil confronts Charlene. He's like, hey, give Chris one more chance. If he blows it, I'll personally fund you and Dominic, their kid. I'll fund you all to leave. I'll set you all up. Like, you'll be fine.
Which is pretty crazy when you think about it. It's like,
Yeah.
I'll set you up for life, but you got to go try to love this guy.
Get one
Or is he just going to shoot her?
one more time.
Yeah.
But he's like pretty like aggressive about it. He's
Right.
like, get out of here.
Demanding.
Yeah.
Whoa, hold on. I mean, completely separate. I was looking up Allstate guy's IMDb, and apparently there's a Dead Rising movie, and he was in it, which is insane.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
the dead-
I did
it's not
see that. I
very
never
good.
watched
Well,
it.
He's
I'm
also
sure.
he's also in Wrecking for a Dream.
Oh boy,
Oh, and a very potent scene. Oh, yeah.
He's in that scene.
is he really?
He sure
Oh, yeah.
is. Sure is.
Oh boy,
A lot of scenes.
No clue.
he's also in Kung Fu Panda 2 as Master Ox.
His name's Dennis Haybert, right?
Dennis
Oh.
Haysbert. Yep.
There you
So
go.
Vincent meets with an informant played by Tone Loc, who was also in Ace Ventura a year before. That's the only reason why I know who he was at the time.
You gotta let me go around here.
He mentions that he knows of one of Neil's crew members, Tom Sizemore's Michael, because he has these peacock tattoos.
Get that peak out.
So then we go to the exchange where Neil's supposed to sell the bonds back to Van Zant. He's almost killed, but Chris and Michael are there to back him up. His crew ends up killing all the assailants. That scene was nuts,
Okay,
man.
That's
Yeah.
49 minutes in. We finally got some more action.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
Are you just like looking at your phone the whole time during this movie?
No, I'm
Chris?
looking at the.
he's
I
like,
was,
where's
looking
the
at time.
action,
I need more action.
I'd like some action, please.
sir? Sir,
Can I
action.
get some fries with my action?
But that scene was cool because like Val Kilmer's character was like hiding out in like the like a duct maybe, and he rolls out and just like pops with a sniper rifle, just popping people off. And then Tom Sizemore comes out with a shotgun. That was cool.
That was a cool action scene.
He popped a lot of people right off.
Yeah, they're at a like
They got popped off.
broke like a.
Abandoned
Drive-thru.
drive-in
Yeah, thank you.
theater.
So then, since they survive, De Niro's character Neil calls Van Zant and says, "I'm talking to." This is my favorite lines from the movie.
Oh, great line.
I'm
great
talking
line.
to an empty
Yes.
telephone because there's a dead man on the other line. And this freaks out Van Zandt. He's like, well, what do you mean? He's like, what's going to happen? He's like, you'll find out. Basically, he's like, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, pretty much.
freaks them the fuck out.
Understandably.
So then, like, Waingro, he's hiding out in like a motel. I think he just got finished.
He's having himself.
Yeah, he just finished sinning with the lady of the night, and he kills her.
Yeah.
After a weird
Also,
conversation.
he's very young.
Yeah, she's like, you find out later on, so she's like 16. And he goes to a bar afterwards and gets tipped off about like get some work. We find out later on.
Looking for work.
Find out later on he ends up getting work with Van Zant, of all people. Vincent fights with his wife again after leaving a party to go to a crime scene where Waingro killed the victim.
That's where the mother comes in crying about the victim.
It's a pretty potent scene.
Yeah, that's rough.
Neil then asks Edie to leave with him to go to New Zealand, and she agrees. Then Vincent and his team are on a stakeout, they're in a box truck surveying Neil and his crew. So until one of these dumb SWAT members, like, I think, we just sit down and like.
He leans against the wall and his gun hits the edge of the
That's
truck.
what it was, yeah. So like that prompts Neil to be like, something's not right. Apparently, again, this apparently happened in real life. This shows the discipline that Neil has is like, something's wrong, we're getting out of here. And like Val Kilmer's character is like, no, I'm almost there. He's like, no, we got to go right now.
He's drilling into a safe.
Yeah, he's like, I'm almost there. He's like, no, we're out now. We have to go now. So this kind of like, there's a shoe and everything because this is supposed to be Neil's last heist. He's like done after this. He's like, he found his woman. He's like, all right, we're getting out of here.
So what brings on this heist though? What like set this heist up?
This one currently?
Yeah, the one they're doing now. What was the purpose for this heist, or where did they get the info from it?
So the Bond thing fell through, obviously. But remember, like he talks to that tech guy in the wheelchair.
Yeah, in the wheelchair.
He's the one that gave him the idea of this.
They've worked on jobs before.
But I don't understand. I've seen this movie so many times because like this job fell through. They couldn't sell the bonds off. Val Kilmer's character is like, I need money because he has all these gambling debts. He's like, I need another job. He mentioned the bank heist. I've seen this movie so many times. I don't remember like the bank heist thing ever come up prior to this.
Maybe like, well, I don't know if is Val Kilmer referring to a bank heist or that they need to do another one.
He mentions he lost a lot of money in Vegas on the Super Bowl or something.
Yeah.
Right. That's established that he has the gambling debt.
But he said, I think they talk about when they all meet together, like Robert De Niro's character is like, dude, the heat's on. We got to like, we need to leave right now. He's like, it's up to you all. We all need to decide right now if we're going to do next. He's like, I'm ready to leave because he has his girlfriend now. Tom Sizemore character is like, yeah, I'll do whatever you want to do. He's like, no, you have to figure this out on your own. He's like, I just like doing this. Let's do it. Danny Trejo's character is like, I'm on board. But Val Kilmer's like, I need this money. We got to do this now because like he wants to take care of his family, obviously, because he has those gambling debts. But this is when he says the bank heist. I was like, I don't remember this being ever brought up before.
When they're at the dinner, how does Al Pacino find out that? Like, how does he catch it? Is it because that one meeting in the nightclub where he says something about a guy who says slick?
Slick,
okay.
Yeah.
Tone Loc, yeah. He finds out
like
through Tone Loc that
Michael,
who says Tom Sizemore's character is slick, or the guy that calls everyone slick. Because of that, they're able to like pull up his information
And track all of them.
Except for Robert De Niro's character, because like there's nothing on file with him. So they all agree to eventually do this heist. Then Vincent and his team bombard Alan. Alan is Hank Azaria's character, because they find out he's having an affair with Charlene.
Ashley Judd.
And they try to turn him to work for them. So there's two great lines I love here. I'm going to do the first one.
Yeah, okay.
Alan says,
the first one.
So Al Pacino's like, hey, he next Charlene, and Hank Azaria goes, who? Goes, and he says, who? What are you, a fucking owl? The second, which I thought was funny. The second one is, Brian, want to do this one?
Because she got a great ass. And then he goes, thing about asses. They do something. I forget what he said. Like,
What he says, you got, your head is so far up her ass. He's like, think of asses. They do something to me.
Yeah.
Also, that line was improvised.
Yes, it was.
You got your head
So off our ass.
all the way up it.
So they turn this character because they realize he's having an affair with Charlene, who is the wife of Chris. But at the same time, though, Nate does some digging up on Vincent for Neil. Found out that Vincent is on his third marriage. Through talking with Nate and Neil, they deduce the fact that he's on a third marriage, like he's clearly obsessed with his work. He's that crazy to he'll follow through. So they come this crossover where Neil's or Nate, Jon Voight's character's like, dude, you want to keep doing this stuff? Because this guy will not stop.
It's like the levity of the situation. It's basically like, do you want to take this final job? Because if you take this risk, he's not going to stop coming.
And he even says he can make mistakes. You cannot. If you make a mistake, you're done. Vincent is in a helicopter tailing Neil's car. And then he gets into his own car, Vincent gets in his own car, follows Neil, pulls him over as a cop, and is like, hey, we got to talk. Let's go to a diner. So apparently this is kind of loosely based on a story. This part actually happened in actual real life, where Neil McCauley, who's a real person, Al Pacino's character, who's based off of another real person, they actually went to a diner and talked in real life. So this scene was so aggressively pushed because this is the first time they're on camera together. This is the first time Al Pacino and Robert De Niro on camera together. So this is so heavily pushed, and I think it's a great scene.
I think it might be the most famous scene. I mean, maybe it's not
from this movie.
Yeah,
for sure.
Obviously, people remember the ridiculous line, right? That's great.
Yeah.
That's great for memes and shit. But this, as far as cinema goes, this was probably the most famous.
But also earlier on, they can both be aggressively loud people.
Oh yeah.
This is such a calm, kind of still, simple conversation.
They definitely have their character piece. I just want to comment on this scene because while I love it, it's great. Between those two guys acting, because it's they have their own mannerisms and stuff there's their own styles.
Al Pacino keeps doing the snapping thing in this movie for some reason.
Yeah, but he always they always come into the same pitfall in these movies, and this is one of the best. But they have a story. It's a cop or a criminal. It's it was this girl. She died. Right?
Oh yeah, when they talk about their dreams. Yeah.
Me all up in the head. They always do that in these kind of films, but it's definitely that kind of scene where they're going through why they do what they do.
Yes, they're gauging each other up, but also it's kind of interesting because they both realize that they're basically the exact same person, just on opposite sides of the law. They're both dedicated, disciplined in their respective fields. They also realize how isolated they both are.
Yeah.
Despite Vincent having a family, he's I'm clearly kind of alone. Neil's very much alone because he's doesn't have any attachments. They talk about the recurring dreams, and they kind of have a bond and also a mutual respect for one another because they both realize how professional they are, how dedicated they are, how meticulous they are in their own fields. But they also say at the same time, if it goes down, I will kill you.
I will not hesitate. They both say that, and it's there's a moment of go ahead.
There's a mutual respect there. They actually kind of like I say, they do realize that they're almost the same person, but Neil does say he's I'm never going back.
Right.
In regards to going to prison, and that's also a bit of more foreshadowing there.
Just letting the other person know that I have to do what I need to do.
I don't want to do it.
I have a mutual respect.
But I'll do it if
I
have to.
And their dedication is almost it's obsession too.
Yes.
They have to do this. They can't walk away from it. It's
it's all they know.
It's a matter of pride. It's almost like an addiction.
Yeah, Al Pacino's what are you, monk? He's yeah, kind of. They're disciplined. They're that obsessed with their job. They will not stop. It's almost like a dog chasing after a car. It is a cat and mouse game for the most part in the movie. They're obviously going after another, but this scene's so cool because it's just we are actually the same person. We actually respect one another. We're kind of the same guy, but we're just on opposite sides of the law because our obsession is so much.
This is what we feel our purpose is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Chris, you're quiet. What do you think?
Chris, go ahead.
There's a lot going on. Again, this is another slow part where like they're still building out the story again. I'm like, just shoot a gun. Come on. This is crazy. No,
Really?
Chris, how was your popcorn at this time?
no, I think again, this is like it's getting into like this is whenever you're starting to see like a movie that's like it's 3 hours long and you're like, God, but
That's what he was thinking.
but the scenes are interesting. And I don't think it could have been cut into 2 movies.
No.
But it's built in a way that like, yes, there's some parts where I think could have been edited a little better, but I mean it's well put together. The scenes make sense, although they're not jumping around as much now, which I do
I'm
like
it. It calms down. It does calm down. Yes.
Yeah, and I watched this with my partner Tiffany, and at the end of it, she was like, it didn't even feel like 3 hours. So that's something to be said.
That's what I was saying. It flew for me.
Yeah, there's something to be said about a movie that when I saw the runtime, I was like, oh boy, when am I going to watch this?
Yeah,
I forgot it was 3 hours.
But they
and
also
then it just
do jump around a lot. Still, it's just not. I don't know.
It's not as
you get used to it, or you feel the
Well, right.
characters
They
enough.
establish some characters and then they focus on the bigger stories.
Yeah, the bigger set pieces they have to get to.
It's not as like obtrusive. Like it's not as jarring.
So I think it wasn't as jarring, but it's also because I think the strings of the story are starting to come together. We're starting to see like, this is how they are connected.
All the pieces are coming together.
So all right, here we go. This next scene, it's a long one. This is a seminal, iconic scene. Aside from this is diner scene, but like I think this is more important to the story. Is the heist scene. One, because like the music during it, it's super subtle. It's like almost like a clock, but it has that sense of urgency. And this is the scene that inspired a bunch of stuff from GTA 5, 4, and 3. Apparently had some inspiration for Christopher Nolan and some of his movies. So anyways.
Payday, the giant game. Like
Wait,
Payday.
There's a story beat that I don't know if it happened yet, but I think it's important that we mention. It's Danny Trejo's character like backs out right at the end.
So I'm gonna get into that.
Okay, yeah. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. No, you're right, dude. I jumped the gun there. So let me go back a little bit here.
Jumping.
Oh yeah. So sorry. Thanks, Jeff.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So it's after the diner scene. Waingro meets with Van Zant. So they kind of like have this mutual agreement that like they're going to take down Neil and his crew.
He's going to set him up.
Yep.
Neil is at a diner with Chris and Michael. This is the day of the heist. The day of the heist. He recognizes Allstate.
Allstate's working in the back. Getting treated very
really
poorly.
He's working the grill. And it just so happens that like Neil gets a phone call from Danny Trejo's character saying like, hey, the police are on to me. I can't.
Back off.
Yeah, I got to back off. He's the wheel man. So like, oh, perfect. Allstate guy's here. He'll be our wheel man. He agrees to it.
I know Allstate guy.
And it's very satisfying seeing him tell the owner or whatever this guy is at the restaurant to like off.
Yeah.
Super satisfying.
Yep.
All right. So the day of the bank heist, this is the same day, only hours later. Neil is crewing into the bank in suits. They have like satchels around them. They have like automatic rifles that they are able to hide under their suits somewhat. Like, I don't know how anyone didn't see that going in. But anyways, they end up donning ski masks. Again, they're very professional. They know the time it would take for cops to get there. They don't want to kill anybody. They're like very like, hey, don't mess with us. You'll stay alive. You can get out of here alive. Don't do anything stupid.
Your money's insured by the federal government.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. That too. Yeah.
Covered.
Just keep your mouth, head shut down, and you won't get shot.
And this is the part where the guy's like, I don't know what key you're talking about. And De Niro just pops him and takes it immediately. Doesn't reply to him, just takes it.
Yeah, because he knows the time. They know how much time they have. So I think it's kind of cool. Like they're professionals. Okay, so unfortunately for the crew, Vincent and his team show up. They get a tip off. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they say it now, but you find out later it's Henry Rollins is the one that called it in. His character. I can't remember if they say it right at this point right now.
And that's Van Zant's bodyguard.
Yes, thank you.
Like his main guy.
Because he's trying to stop Neil from shooting him.
Yes.
Henry Zant, I think his name is.
So
Henry Van Zandt.
Yeah.
So this like whole massive shootout takes place, and this like it's nuts, man. Like you can see like again like for me this is a very prolific movie for me when it comes to crime. Like I in newer crime movies I see how they take things from this movie. I don't know if that was the case back then. Like I don't know if this at the time it was looking seen as like this new original kind of thing, but like
a film that did an action scene like this at the time. Yeah.
Okay. So Neil and Michael are able to get in the car while Chris fends off the police. Like something happened. I can't remember exactly what happens. Like Chris is the first one. Val Kilmer's character is the first one to see that like the cops are there. He starts popping off with his automatic rifle. Chris and Michael get in the car with Don. They drive away. Don gets shot, gets killed. So everyone's at this point they have to escape. They're all on foot. Again, Neil and his crew are well trained. They take turns covering each other, which I think is really interesting. They're like, "Hey, you go, I'll go." We'll like, it's not every man for himself.
It's very tactical.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Very tactical. They're not like every man for himself. Like, "Hey, I'll cover you. You run up, then you cover me. I run up." So I thought that's I don't know. I just for some reason that kind of stuck out to me.
Chris has a point.
I just want to say, like, it was very unrealistic.
Why?
The cops, because the cop, there's like 20 cops showed up behind cars, and they're just running down the middle of the street shooting. Like the guy runs, shoots. Like the cops are getting popped off one by one, but none of them get shot except for one of them eventually. And you have cops from both ends, both from both sides. It makes a good scene. I'm not saying that, but it's saying it's just very unrealistic.
Here's the thing. So I thought this happened prior to this, but it happened 2 years after. So at least in LA, at the time, standard police only had revolvers. In 1997, there's massive shootout happened where like the people robbed a bank. They had like automatic rifles. So then eventually, LAPD, who weren't SWAT, were allowed to carry more than just a shotgun and a revolver. So I think that might play into the fact of like,
Okay.
we
Makes
only
sense.
have revolvers, but these guys have automatic rifles. Like,
Right, yeah.
so that might be why. I don't
Plus,
know.
see, some of these police are like special unit. I don't know like what like units they are. They have
So
a
yeah,
standard, like,
so yeah,
patrolmen and stuff like that,
they do say I didn't mention this earlier, but like Vincent is his lease. He's a Marine, so he knows how to use an automatic rifle. But like all these other, they're just like aside from his detectives that are with him, these guys are just like standard beat officers. Like they have revolvers. These like again, Neil and his crew, like they clearly know how to use these weapons. So like they might be outnumbered, but like they're more than capable of taking care of themselves, I think is what they're trying to showcase here.
Yeah.
But again, they all kind of end up getting somewhat separated. Chris gets shot. Neil goes back for him, which just shows his honor. Like he's loyal.
Right.
He eventually gets him to a grocery store. He steals the station wagon. They drive off. But Michael is on his own. And Michael kind of does a kind of a piece of thing where he like grabs a little kid.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah. Like I was like, oh, these guys are supposed to be kind of honorable. But he's like, no, but he also has a good portion of the money with him. So like,
I know, but he was a family man, or at least they established that.
yeah. I'm not saying he has.
No, I know.
I'm just like part of the money they were supposed to get. Like it's with him. So like the other guys kind of get screwed. So like,
Well, but he was the guy when De Niro's character was asking them all if they still wanted to do it. He was just like, I just like doing it because it's exhilarating.
that's a good point. That's a very good point. I didn't think about that. So yeah, he gets popped off by none other than Vincent. Vincent kills him.
Right between the old eyeballs
Yep.
there. Good old pop.
Right up in the
Little girl
bread
survives.
basket. No, bread basket.
Yep.
Again, like people are obviously dying, but the whole scene was cool. Like the music and that was like it's subtle, but like is very much played into the scene itself, which I thought was kind of neat.
Yeah, it was an excellent bank heist scene for
Yeah.
sure.
It definitely had some like Christopher Nolan vibes.
It's very iconic in that
yes.
every video game, even probably newer movies, most movies that do bank heist, crime dramas probably mimic it. Or the directors and writers probably saw this scene when they were growing up or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you said Christopher Nolan, I mean, Dark Knight has the scene.
Yes. And I think I remember looking on Wikipedia, like
Very similar.
he's like Michael Mann does a very good job. Like the city is a character. I think Christopher Nolan's like the city needs to be a character with Dark Knight. Like Gotham is a character in itself. So I don't know. Take that way you will. So Neil's able to get Chris to a doctor's by Jeremy Piven, which I thought was also kind of funny.
Yeah, just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Give me your shirt, Jeremy
Yeah,
Piven.
he's like, no, my daughter gave me this for Father's Day. He's like, I don't care.
I don't care. Take off the fucking shirt.
So he gets picked up later by Nate. Neil, however, thinks that Danny Trejo's character is the one who ratted him out. He's like, who wasn't here with us? So clearly he must have something wrong. He decides to go after him, goes to his house, but he finds out when he arrives, Danny Trejo's character is like almost beaten to death. He's like completely
He's looking really bad.
Destroyed.
I mean, his head isn't on a turtle, but he's looking pretty rough.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
So Danny Trejo's character is like, hey, Van Zandt and Waingro. They're the ones who did this. They tipped off the police. They beat the crap out of me. He's like, I can't remember if I told him what your exit plan was. And Neil's like, okay, you're fine. But he's like, Danny Trejo's like, just kill me, man. I'll never be able to walk again.
Well, no, his wife or whatever was dead, and he was really sad about it.
Oh, that's
He was
right.
really
Yeah.
depressed. Yeah. And to be honest, once you see him there, he wasn't going anywhere.
No.
I mean, yeah,
So
he was done
He
for.
does mercy killing to him, which is the nice thing to do, I guess. So he's like, I'm going after Van Zandt. I'm going to go after Waingro despite the heat. See what it is there.
Message.
We'll add some echo to that, Chris, when you edit it.
Heat.
So-
Okay.
Alan takes Charlene to a house. The police are there. She's like, what the hell are they doing here? He's like, hey, Alan's like, because he's been turned. He's like, hey, if you out your husband, if you get him to come here and capture him, you and Dominic will be fine. Their kid will be fine. If you help bring Chris in. So later on in the movie, she eventually, like, when she has a chance to, like, bring him in, she signals him to go away. She's like, hey.
She gives him a wave.
Yellow wave, and he pulls off, allow him to get away.
Yeah, they basically, she says it wasn't him, and then they pull him over, too, and he had fake stuff to get away, and...
So he got out.
Yeah.
Yep. Neil goes to Edie, saying, hey, leave with me, but at this point, she, like, deduces, like, hey, do you have something to do with this whole, like, shootout downtown? Yeah. He's like, oh, yeah. I'm not actually a metal salesman. He kind of, like, pushes her into, like, coming with him, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, he's, like, trying to give her a smooch, and she's, like, not about it, which, understandable.
Sure, yeah.
But
Go ahead.
she goes with him.
She does.
She's been with him for what? Not even a month. Like, get the
I think maybe
outta
a
here.
week or two.
Oh my god!
What
This
an
is why I
idiot.
hate. This is why I hate her.
Is it the thing where she like is scared to not go with her?
No,
Because she knows his secret though.
No, at first he's
Oh,
like,
at first.
he's like, yeah, don't run. She's like, well, when can I get away from you? He's like, it's kind of like you never will be able to. Cause she's like, don't touch me. They kind of have this heart to heart because she like runs out in the field and like he grabs her. It's weird, man. That part's
Yeah, that's a
weird.
weird
Yeah,
scene.
Very
the
uncomfortable.
field running is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she eventually ultimately agrees to go with him.
But he gives her the opportunity to not.
He
And she's
does.
Like, yeah.
Eventually she's like, yeah, you can. He's like, you know what? I love you. You can leave on your own accord. She's like, no, I'm gonna stay with you. And he's like, we're gonna leave on this private jet until Neil gets tipped off where Wingaro is hiding out. And you have this whole scene where like he's like, Jon Voight character calls him. He's like, hey, he's staying at this hotel. Not that you want to know this, but I'm telling you because you do want to know it. Doesn't matter because you're leaving. And you see like it's kind of like they're going through a tunnel, like this super bright light. I think purposely too bright almost, like to show that like he's happy. He has a girl. He's leaving this all behind. You see him actually smile for a second, then he just like
His way out.
he's just like, nope, I'm going after this dude. I'm gonna kill him for revenge, which I kind of like that. He finds that he's at a hotel, but Wayne grows in under surveillance because they all know, like police know he's there. Vincent goes home to Justine, find out she's cheating on him. He takes his TV with him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he thinks Neil escaped. And he's like, I'm
Starts
going.
freaking out at the
Yeah,
station.
yeah. He's like, I'm going to my hotel. Goes to the hotel.
I'm going back.
Yeah, I'm gonna sleep for a month.
Yeah.
He goes to a
Haven't
hotel
slept in a
where
while.
Lauren's staying with him, and he finds out she attempted suicide in the bathtub.
Yeah, what was that
Luckily-
all about?
I don't know.
So that surprised me.
How did
Honestly,
she,
like
I thought that other Wayne guy got her and put her in there, and it was like a attack.
no, it was
Oh.
she just ended up. I thought it was she just ended up at the hotel because of the tension between like what's going on
Her
with
and
her
mom.
her dad.
Yeah.
But it's like, how did she
So-
even know he was staying there? How'd she get in there?
I don't know.
It was just confusing. It was a very out of left field scene. Like,
Yeah.
why? And he walked right
It's
over the
very
water when he
shocking.
walked
Well,
in for the first time.
I think he did it. I think I don't know if he should have done it, but I think they wrote that in because it's like you've been focusing so much on the job, you miss something tragic in your personal life. You can't even have that. Now,
I don't think it was
while
executed
that's like a
very
little
well.
extreme, but yeah.
So yeah, she survives. Great, which is great, I guess.
You seem real happy
Yeah.
about that.
Wow.
She I don't know, her character. I get the character,
Or character, yeah.
but like
yeah.
they're like I get. It was also almost a 3-hour movie, but like I don't know. They
It
kind
was a
of
weird
that seemed
thing to throw
forced.
in.
It seemed forced.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Neil can't resist getting revenge on Wayne Grove. He goes to the hotel, which is a part of the airport. He's like, "Hey, we're gonna make a stop." He leaves Edie in the car. The car's running. He's like, "I'm going there. I'll be right back." She's like, she doesn't know what's going on.
Famous last words, right? I'll
Yep.
be right back.
I'll be right back.
Neil goes in, steals the hotel security uniform, and triggers a fire alarm, causing an evacuation, which in turn triggers an alert to Vincent because it's at the hotel. They're keeping surveillance on while he's at the hospital. While him and Justine call it quits. So they're just like, "Yeah, this isn't going to work." But eventually he's like, "I got to go see about this at the hotel." Neil's killing Wayne Grove, I think, is incredibly satisfying.
Oh yeah.
That breath he takes
Yes.
in, man.
Yep. He keeps saying, "Look at me. Look at me." Looks him in the eye, shoots him in the chest, shoots him in the head. I thought it was so satisfying.
I mean, yeah, he got what he deserved.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But sadly, because of all this, because he pulled a fire alarm, which triggered the fire department, triggered the police, it caught Vincent's there. Like, he's there.
How did
So
he
we-
know to go there?
So he got paged
Right at the
at
hospital.
the hospital when he's talking to his wife. Because like they already had surveillance on. He already had surveillance at the hotel. Keep an eye on Wayne Grove.
He just set it off, essentially.
But how did he know that what's his name was going to be there?
Because that's the guy that betrayed him. He sold him out.
Because there's a scene where he's like he went and killed Van Zandt, so he's like Wayne Grove's next because he knew Wayne Grove betrayed
Okay.
him. Van Zandt
Found
betrayed him.
where he's at?
Yeah. All right, so here we go. Final showdown.
On the tarmac.
Yep, Chris. Let me ask you this: since you've never seen this movie before, how do you think this movie's going to end?
I figured someone's going to get shot. Like
Who'd you-
one of
who'd you
those
think-
two are going to die.
Sure. Who do you think was going
Flip
to
a
die?
coin.
Though?
Who's getting shot?
I figured it was Robert De Niro. I figured this was the time in the movies where they had to have a winner. Like the good guy had to win, especially in a
All right.
cop movie. I figured that was going to be. I think this scene was insanely too long, but that's just me.
Really?
But go ahead.
I will say the one scene of De Niro like running across the
Oh,
airport
well-
looked really funny.
Well, no, when he jumped the fence, it was very clearly a stunt guy, and he started running.
Yeah.
It was definitely
Yeah,
not
yeah.
Robert De Niro for sure.
The run was just like high stepping almost. I'm like, what is happening
Al-
with this part?
Also, where like that scene earlier on where Al Pacino throws Henry Rollins through the window. I'm sure it wasn't Henry Rollins, but there's this huge sweat stain on the dude's ass, which I thought was funny.
Henry Rollins is crazy enough, though. I could see him.
Oh,
doing that.
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I love this final scene, man. Like the what they do, how silent it is, how still everything is. What they do with like the lighting and the shadows, because like
Right, the planes
the only-
flying
yep,
overhead.
The only
yeah.
lighting you see is because of the planes and like the runway lights. Compared to the rest of the movie, how like silent this was and how still everything was, because like for the most part of the rest of the movie, like it's anxiety driven. But, like this scene is like so not hyper focused, but like so still. Like it's still very tense, of course, because like someone's gonna die, but like
It's like there's going to be a conclusion.
Yes.
There's it's like a breath of fresh
yeah,
air.
there's
in a
no
way.
music, there's barely any sound other than their own breathing. So I also thought that was really cool.
I was just gonna say I agree with you. It was super cool. Like just the setup for it. It's almost like a Rainbow Six map.
Yeah, and like I don't know, I kind of got like one of my favorite stories of all time in video games is Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2, and like I got vibes,
Yeah.
serious vibes with. So, anyways, So this hotel, this all happens down, is right next to the airport. Neil flees to the airport on foot. He goes on the tarmac. Occasionally, they kind of exchange fire with one another until ultimately Vincent is able to get the drop on Neil from a plane landing because it casts a shadow of Neil. Vincent sees the shadow. He just kind of like turns around and shoots at the shadow. Like he knows where it's coming from.
The runway lights light up
Yes.
his position.
Yeah.
Yes.
But he was waiting for the lights to blind him to shoot him.
Yeah,
So that
that's
was
true.
cool.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, they're both using lights. Yeah. So that whole thing I thought was cool.
Light versus dark kind of thing too there.
Oh yeah, look at that.
I think it was just like I think it was just that for that. I mean, that scene was just so anticlimactic.
Really?
What?
Yeah, because you had like these two guys that are just neck and neck the entire movie, and like there's not like a shootout with them. There's not like a tension. Like yes, they're walking around like almost trying to like scare each other. Like it's
definitely
just not
tense. It's definitely tense though.
I don't think it was very tense. I thought it was boring. Like it was like
All right.
where are they at? Where like they're hiding. There's like no way to like see where one guy is compared to where the other guy is because they're just red and white blocks.
Mm-hmm.
And you're kind of like where like how do you where's the tension like of who's where and like you don't
Well,
see
that's
like
the point. They don't know where
Right.
each other are.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I know, but like there's no way for the viewer to know either to get a view on because of the
But
blocks are so the same.
That's why it's
that's the
disorienting
point.
on
Yeah.
purpose.
Okay. I
I'm
don't
just saying
I'm gonna
that's
go
what
on-
probably the intention of it.
Yeah. I agree. I see that. I can see that now.
That's just
but
not your taste. That's
I
all.
don't think it was because you don't have
You're like
you
that,
also
but
don't
I
have
don't
like
like
a cap on their relationship other than him holding his hand.
I'm going to go on record real quick and give that take of Chris's a thumbs down.
That's a thumbs down.
We're going to keep
Unofficial.
doing this. This is a new theme.
Okay.
So all right, let me finish this because we're almost done.
Boring.
Comment, subscribe.
So again, Vincent's able to get the drop on Neil because of his shadow, shoots him in the chest. As Neil dies, he reiterates something he said to Vincent when they were at the diner earlier on in the movie, which is that he's never going back to prison. So again, that was foreshadowing. He's like, I'll rather die than go back.
One-way ticket.
Yep.
Yeah.
He raises his hand to Vincent. Dude, this scene, oh my God, dude. He raises his hands to Vincent. Moby's God Moving on the Face of Water plays, which I fucking love this song. Vincent holds Neil's hand as he dies. I get choked up every time I watch this part of the movie. Every time. And that's the end of the movie.
That's it.
Yep.
Chris got choked up for different reasons.
It's like, I got choked up because the movie sucks.
I choked on my popcorn.
I read that initially they wanted them both to kill each other here,
Oh, wow.
That would be more interesting.
which
I don't know.
the more that I think about it, though, I personally might have liked that ending better because Pacino basically gave up his life to follow him, right? They were both kind of giving up everything. You know, what is he going to go back to? His now third ex-wife.
That would
Like,
definitely be more like a Greek tragedy thing going on there.
yeah.
But he all like that's the thing. That's his life in general. Like he would just go on to the next guy. Like,
Right.
It was like that. So
Yeah, but then he goes on until he either retires or dies, and then if he retires, it's almost more sad because he'll probably be alone.
yeah.
So it's like it almost would have been better. Like they both meet an end. I don't know. That's just my thought, but
That makes sense. I do
I
think
give that take a down finger.
a down finger.
I give this take a stinky finger.
That's a lie because you said it was more interesting when I started saying it. You fucking.
I give this one a downy.
I do think as Al Pacino's holding his hand, he's like there is that like what do I do now kind of thing.
Yeah.
His face is like this, and it like not only that, but like he realizes, like I said earlier in the diner scene, like they realize how much they are alike. He's like, is this how? Maybe it's like, is this how I'm gonna die? This is how I want to die.
Oh yeah.
Kind of that kind of thing. So
Like seeing it almost like foreshadowing for him.
Finally
that we
met
don't
my
even get to
match.
see.
right.
What if instead of just being quiet, he was like, "Yeah!"
It's like doing screaming. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
I killed you, you son of a.
All right, Jordan, thank you for recapping Heat for us. Next, we're going to move into the feedback of the movie Heat. And Brian, I'm going to start with you. What did you think about the movie Heat?
I think it's a great movie because I'm a huge fan of like crime dramas. Like I love The Wire. Like it was a huge like HBO series. So a lot of that series was focused on both sides, both the criminal and the police side, the investigations and things like that. But whereas that was more focused on the detail, Heat is more focused on two characters that are at the peak of their game, whether that's a master criminal or a master cop, and the struggle they have with their personal lives affecting what they're good at. And I love Michael Mann's stuff because it's if you watch his movies, even though he's a director, whoever he's picking for cinematography, he's talking in somebody's ear because his movies all have a look to them, and most of them are awesome to my knowledge. So yeah, it's just a great crime movie.
Jeff, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have to go ahead and say pretty much the same. It's, it's one of those films that you kind of, if you haven't seen, you're probably named Chris, I guess. It's just one of those ones where, like you've seen The Godfather, you've seen Heat, you've seen Scarface. Like it's one of the, yeah. Well, anyways, it's just a timeless classic. It's really cool that it's De Niro and Pacino's first film where they're in scenes together, and then obviously they've been in more after that, but that's always going to be the first one. And yeah, it's special. Yeah, it's really great. It's special. It ebbs and flows, and it's a tragedy, and it's I don't know. It's not I wouldn't say it's a feel good movie, but it is what it is. It's a crime drama.
An epic.
Yeah, it's a good story.
So, Jordan, I'm going to go to you last. I'm going to go next. Okay. And I'm going to say that I think Heat, the movie Heat, I am not a fan of crime dramas. I'm not a fan of crime films for personal reasons, but also I just don't, which made me not like these types of movies. Any type of crime heist movie where you're like glorifying that stuff, even though this doesn't glorify it, I don't think, in any way, which is good.
Yeah.
I just don't enjoy that type of stories. I don't seek them out. It's not something for me. But I liked, although I said the story was at the beginning I was kind of bored, but as you start learning about the characters and learn how they all come together, I think it was very, very well. It's hard to take that many stories and like bring them back together.
Well, put together at the end. Yeah. Like,
in a satisfying way.
Yes.
It's very hard to do it.
Other than the final death scene.
Yeah.
But
I think overall they do a good job of it.
I think that's the key to this movie is how well you can tell a story that's very convoluted in the beginning and bring in so many people and bring in so many side stories and still make it make sense at the end and be able to wrap it up in a way that is understandable. And even though it is 3 hours, but in the middle, I think it does start picking up. There is a slow start at the beginning. You have that really cool scene in the beginning with the heist, and then you have this low part, which pulled me out of it. And that's why I was getting confused on jumping around. But it does fix that, I think, just because you start, caring about the characters and wanting to know what their stories are. Like, I wanted to know what was going on with Al Pacino's character in his family life. I was interested in that. I was interested in, I wasn't really as interested in De Niro's character as far as, like, his personal life. I couldn't care less. Like, I was like, come on, you're still, like, who cares?
I think that was part of his character, though, right? Like, he didn't have those attachments, so you couldn't care about it.
Right. Maybe that's what it was.
He didn't really have anything. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he also made references to being in prison before. Like, there's these small little things that, like, they do with them.
Backstory.
Yeah. So apparently Michael Mann wants to do a Heat 2, which
what?
I don't know about that. Adam Driver might play Robert De Niro's character as like a prequel kind of thing.
Oh, that would suck.
So I don't know, man. I like
cool.
Adam Driver. I like
Adam Driver too.
But I don't know about that, man. Like, leave
Adam Driver 3.
Leave this movie alone. Leave this movie alone.
I like Adam Driver 4.
I didn't like it.
Leave Brittany alone.
I didn't like Ferrari that much.
Oh, I didn't even see it.
Nope.
I heard about
It's
it.
fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not bad. It's fine.
The other like cinematography stuff, like the audio, I wasn't sure what the hell was going on with the guns. I thought they were way too loud. It took away from. I guess that's like you're trying to like explain the situation.
Well, that was the reverb that actually supposedly came from like
right,
off
but
the
it
street.
seems like then they just took the gain way up. But like it was well over what the rest of it was going on. Like people were screaming and stuff. I understand the guns are loud. Don't get me there. I'm just saying, like, it seemed like it was almost like a mistake.
Don't movies,
jarring.
but don't
Yes.
movies in general not actually have appropriate gun portrayal sounds?
I don't think so. I
mean,
doubt
most
they
don't,
would.
yeah.
No, like, but silencers, that's not how silencers actually sound in movies in real life.
Right, they were trying to make it as real as possible, you know.
Yeah.
Which though, I mean, to Chris's point, just because you made it as real as possible, like there's a reason they don't do that, right? Like because
There's pros and cons to it, sure. Yeah.
Well, because I did notice they were super loud too, but now knowing that they were trying to get this realism, okay. Like I wouldn't say it.
So you're all snowflake ears couldn't handle the gunshots.
Wow.
No, I think it was just jarring from like a mix point of view of like how you bring sounds together.
Sure.
Well, yeah, it's like you tried it, you can't hear a speaking scene, so you turn it up, and then the next scene it's like, and you I gotta turn it down, like you know.
Yeah, it's super annoying. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
did it on purpose.
As from like a, the cinematography is like the visual aspect of it, like really well put together using lighting, especially with like different scenes. But in general, I thought it was just a really well put together movie in the way that the story wraps up. That's what made me like it.
Would you, because like this movie is considered a classic, would you deem that as a classic, Chris? This movie?
Knowing how much has affected modern cinema, like movies, TV shows, like again, not knowing, doing much research on that aspect of it, but knowing that it has, like, you see so much of it in modern entertainment.
Yeah, I mean, you said it yourself. You played games, and then you were like, "Oh."
I think every game that has like a heist in it is based around like the same situations, like that Payday
Right.
1 and 2. Probably the exact the thing that fed that game was this movie.
I guess you have to look at like how many heist movies have been made over time and how many have been done this well. So that's why.
Yeah, I mean, you're saying Ocean's 12 is not good.
I've seen them all actually.
And that's the thing, like, there's been heist movies before this, but for me, like, so
Yeah, right.
I don't know, like, I honestly don't know, like, how original this movie was at the time, if it actually was original or not. I still don't know. But for
I
me,
think in mid '90s definitely.
but for
was,
me,
yeah.
like, seeing a bunch of movies is like, man, this is like, they're really being younger. I didn't know why it separated this type of movie genre for me, but it's like, as time I was like, oh, this is different in like a good way or like a positive way.
Like if you look at GTA's, Payback, Rainbow Six games, Payday,
Crime
sorry,
Boss, Rockay City, or
like
whatever
any
it's
game that has a heist in it or some type of like crime thing, you're walking down, you're doing the exact same thing they were doing in that bank heist.
Bonanza Brothers.
And Bonanza Brothers.
It's a heist
Yeah,
game.
heist, it is heist.
You have all these
Yeah.
cops standing there shooting at a couple guys, and they're just the guys are wiping out. Like the exact same situation. But anyway, yeah, it's really interesting as a movie concept.
Nice. I think that's a good. That sounds good from Chris.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty good, guys.
Jordan, what do you think of it?
So, as I said earlier, this is one of my favorite movies ever. There are two things I don't like about this movie. I'll just put those out there now. Natalie Portman's character, I find her incredibly annoying and just like too much. Not saying like she does a good job acting, but I think like there's just like
The character itself.
That bathtub angle was kind of weird, like little.
Extremely weird.
like I know it's serving the point of showing his obsession with his job, but like
Did we need to go to those extremes?
yeah, but again, like this movie's 3 hours long. Like
it might have had more impact if it was his actual daughter.
sure, yeah,
Because
yeah.
it had no like he's like,
No.
why would she come here and do it to me? Like they barely showed a situation between them, other than he picked her up like for some reason on the side of the road,
right? Yeah,
and took her home,
Yeah.
and then he said 2 words at the beginning of the movie. That's it.
Yeah, but it's not like he doesn't care.
no,
No, I'm not saying
Right.
that. I'm saying like they didn't build a relationship for them to be able to have that
They
payoff.
didn't.
right? Yes,
No.
no.
Yeah, they did, and it's true. And she, like, the purpose she served was to bring him back together kind of with his ex-wife
Yes.
in the hospital,
Right.
right? We get that scene where he's like, I'm still going to leave you even though this horrible thing happened. Like,
That's what pulled him back in, right?
oh, yeah.
Oh,
That's the line. There he did. He did it.
I don't know what that means.
you will
Exactly.
maybe
You
someday
never
you will.
will.
Maybe someday you will.
Yeah.
The other thing I did. So again, like I think that could have been more fleshed out. But again, like how much longer do you need to make the movie to do that?
Right.
You know? So like, I don't know.
Exactly.
So also Jon Voight's, I can't stand the way Jon's Voight's character looks in this movie.
He's very,
I can't stand
he's very cartoony
with the,
looking.
yeah.
I don't like him in anything. I don't think I've ever seen him in Anaconda. Terrible.
Mission Impossible?
No, I don't like him. I don't like how he acts.
I like the Mission Impossible.
The first one.
He's just like a weirdo. And also, he's just a weirdo in real life, too. I don't like him in real life either.
Okay, so I'm gonna go into why I love this movie. All right, it's not the regular run of the mill cookie cutter action crime movie. So one has the amazing cast from top to bottom. Like it's not just like the main characters are great actors, but like everyone I think is a great actor.
Yeah, everyone crushed
Yeah,
it.
it's not just this guy's bad, this guy's good. Like they do. There's a gray area between De Niro and Al Pacino's character, especially now knowing that like when we were talking about doing this movie, Brown was like, "Hey, this whole underlying story where like Al Pacino's supposed to be like a coke addict." I was like, I never knew that, but it makes sense because they have these crazy outbursts in the movie. So like, I don't know. There's a humanization of the villain. There's a villainization of the protagonist, which I think is interesting, especially for me at the time when I watched this for the first time. I didn't really saw this with a crime drama or movie, anything like that. I like that they show that Al Pacino's and Robert De Niro's obsession with their jobs affect their lives and how they're similar in that case, regardless of like they're on the both sides of like the law. They could have been very much the same person. They just chose different paths in life. So I think that's very interesting to like look at that point. And then the iconic scenes like the diner scene where they're sitting down together is iconic. That shootout scene where they're after they rob the bank. Yeah. So yeah, that's those are my thoughts on it. Also the soundtrack. I like the soundtrack as well. That Moby song at the end where they're holding hands is like it. I get choked every time I watch that scene.
If you're a fan of the comedian John Mulaney, he had the actor portray Wayne Grow on his stand-up special recently on Netflix.
Yes, that's right.
So that's worth checking out if you want to see an updated Wayne Grow.
All right. Well, thank you, Jordan and Brian and Jeff, for your feedback. We're going to go into the rating now. I'm going to start with Jordan. What do you give the rating of Heat?
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Jeff, what about you?
Yeah, same. Thumbs up. Legendary film. Classic.
Brian, give it a what?
Give it a thumbs up. Pacino, De Niro's.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to say I probably won't ever watch this again.
Here we go.
I probably won't ever watch this again. Just because I don't like crime movies. But
Sure.
I'm going to tell other people to watch it. So I will suggest it as a movie, even though I probably will never watch it again, unless we do like another episode where you make me watch it again. But I'm going to give it thumbs up because I think it was a good movie.
Get fisted.
Although it's a little too long, but we went over that.
Get fisted.
Hey, Pacino and De Niro, get fisted.
Get fisted.
The
Check your mail.
the
Check your email.
Jackies.
Picture my fist.
Jackies, Al's, De Niro's.
Welcome to the Fisted
Get
Club.
fisted.
Oh, God.
Val Kilmer can get fisted.
Oh, Jesus. Mad Mardigan.
Is this my first movie that
No,
Chris
it's
gave a
not.
thumbs up to?
Wait.
Yeah,
Let me look.
Yeah. Because I gave a thumbs down to that
Tiptoes. Did you
Wizard of Oz movie.
Did you give a thumbs up to Cell?
No, I didn't like it.
Okay.
Yeah, Chris has the most thumbs down still.
Yes.
I'm the king of the thumb
He's a
down.
negative Nancy.
He thumbs down hundreds of beavers. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is the first thumbs up you got from him.
But I gave you another one back at the finale of season 1.
Yeah, but that's not a real
What
one.
was it?
All right.
Doesn't count.
For the
He switched
Wizard of
to
Oz movie.
Oz.
Okay.
Yeah.
So next time on the Watch Pals, we are going to be watching a movie that Jeff is going to choose. And Jeff, what movie are we watching?
Well, so I'm excited about this one because this is my first movie that was given to me as a suggestion from my girlfriend Tiffany. So we're going to be watching a film called Electric Apricots. I've never seen it.
Has anybody seen it?
I never even heard of this.
Oh wow!
Heard of it, but I
yeah.
never saw it.
The Raw
So
Dog.
here's what it says on IMDb. It says
Raw Pal.
a graduate filmmaker chronicles a jam band's journey to a famous music festival.
Oh, God.
Hold on. It's National Lampoon Presents, and it's directed and written by Les Claypool.
Who's that?
Primus.
That's Primus.
Yeah.
They could be really good or really bad.
So, and well, I like to think my girlfriend knows me pretty well, and she seemed pretty excited for me to watch this.
What's it called again?
Electric Apricot.
Electric Apricot.
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 Quest for Festaroo.
Oh, my God. Okay, so next time on the Watch Pals, we're watching The Quest for Fistaroo.
Quest. The
No.
quest.
Yeah, the quest.
Quest.
Not for
Yeah.
Fistaroo.
Quest
Maybe.
for Fistaroo.
For Fistaroo. Yeah. So Electric Apricot
Electric
next
Apricot.
time on the Watch Pals.
Well, everybody out there, please leave a comment on your podcast platform of choice to help us out. Please connect with us on social media. All of those links can be found in the show notes below. If you have any questions or suggestions for future movies, please send those to us via watchpalshow@gmail.com.
Or our Discord.
All those links and more can be found on the website watchpals.show. You can also find the link to our Discord there and in the show notes if you'd like to join our Discord and tell us there to watch a movie.
We have a whole channel. Suggest a movie.
Do it.
We'd also like to thank Ben Miller for his logo art. You can find his work at Instagram. It's the link below. And I want to thank you, Brian, for being here.
Thank you, Chris, once again for having me.
Thank you, Jeff, for being here.
Hey, thank you. And I want to thank Brian for staying up late tonight.
Oh, Betty buys.
I was up at 5 a.m. getting a tooth fixed.
Toofy
sucked.
woofies.
Oh,
Toofy poofies.
My toofy poofy.
Jordan, thank you for being here, and thank you for bringing the heat.
Yaha.
Oh, what the heck? They like cut out.
And again, I want to thank all you out there in Watchland. Until next time, please set your watches for the next episode of the Watch Pals. Good night.
See you, stupid.
Go to sleep, for God's sake!